Formula 1 returns to Bahrain for the second round of the 2018 season and will be the first of 3 night races throughout the season, also the first of the power tracks on the calendar for this season as well. Although, despite being a power track, it's not always the fastest cars outright that always come out on top. However, Ferrari and Toyota were early favourites, and both of their cars are the fastest in terms of straight line speed, though you can never discount the Red Bull's aero and the Mercedes with their consistent drivers of George Russell and Danny Kvyat. Sebastian Vettel though was putting in numerous amount of laps in all 3 practice sessions as Ferrari looked to get on top of the issues that plagued their 5-time champion last time out and costing what would have been a good haul of points for Sebastian Vettel. Another driver putting in a load of laps in practice was Rio Haryanto, as Indonesian is one of a few drivers on the grid struggling to get to grips with these 2019 cars, mainly along with Nico Hülkenberg, Lance Stroll and even 2016 world champion Josh Chiro. Toyota were looking for a much smoother race this weekend, as the rain in qualifying at the Australian Grand Prix rather hampered their progress, with both drivers having to fight their way back through the field. Of course, being here in the deserts, it's very unlikely that rain will affect any session throughout the weekend. However though, things weren't going as smoothly for Josh Chiro during his race runs, and FP2 is once again, he was struggling to get the balance right with his AR19 car, and he would lose the rear end into the middle sector, but thankfully though this time would have nothing to hit and he could carry on with minimal time loss. In practice 3, McLaren were practicing giving the draft for each other, and at this point it's Matsushita getting the advantage as he turns to McLaren now for his first race of the season, and will be in the car now until we get to the Spanish Grand Prix later in the season. An absolute shocker from Hulk. We're seeing him start 20th or last on the grid, and Stroll starts from 19th on the race where he scored his only podium finish last season. Toro Rosso row 9, Nico Kari starting in 18th and Alex Albon starting lead of the Toros from 17th. John Vernon making both Renaults knocked out disappointingly in Q1, and Josh Chiro managed to qualify this time starting in P15. Giovinazzi makes it 2 for 2 in out qualifying his teammate from 14th, with Matsushita starting just outside the points places from P13 on debut for McLaren. His teammate Haryanto starts from inside the points from 12th. A good lap from Colton Herta sees the American start from just outside the top 10 in the Haas BMW. Both Red Bulls were disappointed to only lock out the 5th row of the grid, and once again it'll be Max Verstappen playing second fiddle to rookie teammate in the team, Pierre Gasly. Row 8 will consist of 6 world champions, with Sebastian Vettel having 5 of them, and Toyota driver Lewis Hamilton having his 2008 championship. Hamilton's teammate Kamui Kobayashi once again gets the better of the Brit start from P6, Danny Kvyat starting from 5th place, and Mercedes. His teammate George Russell would just manage to out-qualify the Russian by less than a tenth of a second, and Charles Leclerc starts from the top 3 for the second race in a row. To leave an all-Williams front row lockout, Robert Kubica starting from 2nd, with Mick Schumacher making it 2 for 2 on pole positions in his first 2 races in qualifying sessions for the Williams team. Hey guys, Taro here. Welcome back to the UniONE career, this time round 2, the Bahrain Grand Prix, a track which is usually pretty unlucky for us. I mean, we have some decent pace around here, but there's always something that just has to go wrong for us usually. In the race, whether it be contact with another driver or like in 2015 we got absolutely yeeted by Sebastian Buemi, but Alex Albon starting down in P17. The Toro Rosso's improved, but they're going to have to do something more to get some points out of this race. Now they're going now for the formation lap. And once again, it's a little bit of a Noah's Ark thing with the 2 Mercs, Toyotas and everything side by side, though not on the same row, but still coming with that 2x2 pattern there. You've got the 2 McLarens and the 2 Alphas. Then you've got the Renaults sandwiching the 2 Toros and the Haas. But Mick Schumacher, 2 for 2 now on pole positions in that Williams team, and Frank Williams would be very happy with his choice to promote Schumacher to the team ahead now of Lance Stroll, especially with how much Stroll struggling down still within the Haas team. Now we get moving a bit further on through the formation line, getting a nice panning shot here of all the cars making their way through now into the middle sector hairpin. Now what about the 2 Toyotas going to do? It's still something a bit further down, well they're higher up than last time, they're still nowhere near the front of the grid, so once again it could be another fight back for the 2 of them. Looking even further down now, Nobuharu Matsushita, we've already seen the relentless fight in this man. He's absolutely unreal. So from just outside the points place, he could well score points for debut on McLaren come the end of this race. Well, what about Nico Hülkenberg in dead last place in the Renault? To be fair to him, his teammate Vern's only in 16th, so the Renault's going to be in for a tough time if to score any points from this race, even with Shaw starting in 19th as well, and that'll be work cut out for him as well. Lining up now on the grid, Starting in P15, and for once, well, we could have qualified last time, but we would have started last anyway, so no, just representative me and Gio locking out this row of the grid, so it seems pretty even, but now we come to the far red light for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lights out, away you go after a very long hold. I think someone forgot to press the start button there, it was on for that long. Everyone's going like 4, maybe even 5 wide in the middle of the pack, lay down the grid. Into turn 1, it's the 2 Williams that get through cleanly, with Leclerc in 3rd, and you've got the 2 Mercs now side by side now doing the battle now for P4. I think that's Danny Kvyat just managed to slip up the inside of his less experienced teammate George Russell. But now he's going to be out the run in. All the cars, the Ferraris, the Mercs, the Williams, all massively fast in a straight line. But now look at that mid-pack, it's already imploding with cars, it's moving all over the track. I mean, the top 10 is all nice and equal there, but now this is where the fun's starting now in the mid-pack here. You've got Colton Herta just defending from his life, really, from the team McLarens, and you've got Jean-Eric Verne behind one of the Toro Rossos, who lost a place off the start. We've lost a 2 place off start as well, but now behind Verne and one of the Toro Rossos, so once again, not getting the great start down into turn 1, but Gio is way up the order now from where we are. I think he's actually might be in the top 10, he's got that much of a good start, and then we're all over the back now. Well, Jean-Eric Verne, the 2017 World Champion, of course, we had the title fight that went to the final race of that season with me, him and Seb Vettel. We go pouring on the curb and just trying to will the car through too much, and also, I've not mentioned last race, this car takes a while to get the tyres up to temperature at the start of the race and at the start of each stint as well, so just with the way the radical aero design, it's not the best at getting the heat into the tyres, but once they do get into working range, that's when the grip comes into us. And also we are running a little bit extra fuel with 3 laps extra, so I always like to run with a bit of extra fuel so we can just have a bit of security, and I would have some push laps in the race for whenever we need to. By putting the ERS level up into high, we've still got to stick at the back here with Johnny Van, because start the race everyone's going to be running pretty much on maximum attack speed for these opening laps. Looking up front now to our teammate Giovinazzi, who's pretty much training up this queue of cars now. The first in that queue now is Colton Herta in the Hastramic movement, and of course actually Colton there on the set of hard sides as well, so he's doing a very different strategy to everyone else on the grid, but no matter what side you're on, it's not going to affect how fast your car goes in a straight line. He's going to try and get around the outside line with intensity. The inside line for Colton Herta for turn 2. G's going to try and stick around the outside line. He keeps it side by side. He just gets squeezed there onto the curbing. Now Colton Herta makes that move, but now G's going to have the slipstream now, and that Ferrari engine turned to the max. I'm pretty sure to try and come back now. Herta into turn 4, but he's not quite close enough there to make a move back in the inside line. It'll be almost contact there between the 2 McLarens, although it probably didn't look as close as what it actually was. It probably looked a bit closer there from what the camera angle was. You got Verne forcing his way back past now the Toro Rosso there of Nico Kari, I think that is. I can't quite tell which one of the 2 that is, but Verne there on a set of soft tyres, so it's actually absolutely critical for his race that he manages to make these moves through the order quickly. He's going to have to be stopping a lot sooner in race than what me, Kari, and everyone else on the medium tyres, especially what Colton Herta is. Probably about half the race distance, maybe even more on that set of hards. We're basically pushing the fin there through that awkward corner. I mean, back in 2017 I made a few moves there on Lewis Hamilton, I think, Blaney as well. But pretty much everyone there is going to be wise on moving out. They've seen the footage, they'll know that it's me behind them, and that's what I can do. But we're just still going a lot later on the brakes than what Kari is. I mean, we are qualified Nico Kari, so you'd think, well, both ours are qualified, both Toro, so you think that we have the better car still. And so we definitely got the combos on the brakes, and maybe we've still got a little bit better downforce as well. Since we're on the same tyres, going to be able to go late in the corner, you get more downforce, so you've got more downforce to stop the car. But that Toro Rosso though, pretty neat in straight line, since it is a little bit lower drag than what our car is, and also I'm running a bit higher wing as well, just to get the front of the car just to grip to the track. I mean, the rear wing is pretty low still, although a bit higher than what it was in practice when I span out. And then we've got, once again, everything's just all over the place now. We've got, how does this Lance Stroll now trying to make a move on the Renault? I think this is definitely, yeah, it has to be Stroll since we're back here now with the Renaults. And now we're actually going to go a bit of a 3 wide situation now into turn 1. Corey go for a massive dive on the inside line. He gets pinched out to the curbing and does well to not actually spin the car on the curb with how off balance his car did be. A bit squeezed out there. Now we're going side by side now with the finished driver. We're getting a slipstream now from Lance Stroll. Then again, we're going to push him now to the inside line. We're pretty much a bit Rosberg-ish, but actually leaving him the space. Now going to go on the inside line, going to try and sweep around the outside line now of Nico Kari and match made on stick W. No, Kari though keeps his fight now, keeping it side by side now as we come now into the section now for the middle section of the lap. And we just managed to sweep it around the outside line and run out a bit wide. We managed to keep the position there using extra momentum to roll the car through the corner. Coming now into the hairpin style corner. We managed to keep it ahead of there, crucially though, of Nico Kari, but Kari's all over our gearbox still. And we managed to pull away from it a little bit now on corner racing. Now that leaves Lance Stroll now. Let's go for this. Stroll had a pretty good start to the race from P19 to P16. We missed the corner there a little bit, going a little bit too late on the brakes. That's the first time, honestly, on lap 3 that I hadn't got a car right in front of me, so trying to find my braking point there is still something I need to get used to now in these next few laps. So with the DRS wide open into the braking zone, we're getting a little bit there on Lance Stroll as well. We've seen Stroll, Hulk, and really, and along with myself quite a bit, still struggling to get fully to grips with these guys. I mean, my race pace last time was actually pretty good. And qualifying, Well, we would never really know because I didn't qualify last time, but my 1 lap pace wasn't the greatest throughout that practice session. But once again, now up into rich mix now using the revs, it's still trying to learn which is better, whether it's better to use the engine power up into rich mix or better to use the hybrid battery power that we have in the back of our FMM. And they're both still Ferrari related, but it's still yet to see which is more powerful this season. And last season it was all about the ERS, but so far it seems to be more about the engine mode really for what's doing it. Now we're gaining insertion there on the back. Austria now coming down, into going to be low, going for a massive touch the inside line. We're going to sneak away up the inside line. We've got a bit of massive fight through the inside line. We've got side by side now with Giovinazzi trying to just about trying to fend off Jean-Eric Verne. But Verne managed to get past Massive Cheetah in the McLaren, and Halters, look at that, he just absolutely romped off into the distance now. This is how much fighting we're doing, how much we're slowing yourselves down. And Gio's up the inside line. Once again, Alfred Harrington, some great fight for Giovinazzi in this race. I mean, he's racing for his absolute life, it seems, in his first 2 races. Didn't have the best, he had an okay qualifying last time, but then dropped off down the race. But this track being more of a power track and our car not having the most amount of aero in the world, you think that it would be a good track for our car. And here we're waking up that mega star as well. We're somewhere still just about on the fringes of the points places, so it's absolutely critical that you can hold on to these places, if not move forward. But I think Harry Anton now might just about have him in the McLaren, though. We've got another DRS zone here, but Herta in front of all of us, still just pulling away when we're all over the gearbox now with the other Haas. So we're basically, I think our car just became one. We had an 8-wheel car there for a second, because I couldn't think I could have been any closer to the back in there, otherwise I'd have been in the gearbox of his car. But now then, we've got a little bit of a gap forming in front of Massive Cheetah, but everything pretty much just here. Rainy Limestone, Stroll gets a bit of a pour and then dead end. Once again, he's having to brake check ourselves. So we're actually have a look for the inside line. Stroll's just going to come in front of us. We know Stroll's always been mega on his defence ever since when he started back in the Manor in the 2016 season. And he almost crashed me out of the race at Mexico, going so defensive there for no reason. Now they're coming now into the final corner. We're not close enough, of course, to make a move on Stroll, but we're going to need a good run here on the Canadian if we should do anything in turn 1. We can try and make the same move we did last time, but I think we're a little bit further away actually this time. And then we've got Verne once again now looking at the back now. Our teammate Junior pulls the inside line, so Verne must have their engine turned up to the absolute max. So Gio's not going to make it easy for them, squeezing him down. Gio inside line into turn 1, but before moving back onto the race line to give himself a better run through the corner. He's going to hold it around the outside line, which is going to tend to the inside. For turn 2, but Verne keeps fighting around the outside line. Balls of steel there from the 2017 champion, proving why he is a Drivers' World Champion. But Gio though is not going to take that lying down. He needs Massachusetts now getting back involved now, coming into turn 4, but Gio just about managed to hold off Massachusetts, and now he's just starting to fall a little bit back out of the race because he's fighting like crazy. And that's not going to do his tyre life any good, because he's on the 1-stop along with the rest of us really, well besides Verne, but the rest of us are starting on the mediums and then got Herta on the hard compound tyres to start the race. All of us will be doing a 1-stop in this race, and with Gio fighting like this is not going to do his predicament for doing a 1-stop any good whatsoever. And we come now into the probably the most awkward corner in Formula 1, and we run out a little bit wide once again, just trying to sneak away around the outside line, just do something very unorthodox there into the corner. Still, we've got the DRS and Stroll going a little bit defensive to the inside line, but still keeping his car basically on the race line, just letting us know that there's no way we're going to make a move into this corner. We're getting so close there to the back of the Canadian. You can just see how much faster I could go through the corners. I just can't, because there was a 2-metre wide Haas in front of me. Once again, almost creaming to the rear of that car. I mean, there is a car modding company called Cream Developments. The amount of times I've nearly hit into the back of Stroll, I should be creaming his developments. Yeah, don't take that out of context. Either way, you've got a massive fight there up in front though going on now. A bit of a lock up there from my teammate Giovinazzi, as you've got the McLaren there, Massachusetts up the inside line. No, that's going to give them a both poor run there out of the corner. And now Matt's going to be Massachusetts with the DRS once again, I think, on the back. Our teammate Gio, and Gio is absolutely sitting down the straight now. Even here comes Stroll now to try and make a move. Going down into turn 1. It's all going to go for a massive dive with the inside though. Off Stroll, catch him napping. He's trying to make a move on Gio, but we're going to make a dive with the inside line of Stroll for ourselves and keep it side by side. I'm going to give the space there to Canadian. We're going to keep it around the outside line. He just goes over, but we manage to get the power down, keep it around the outside line. Now that we get the DRS though once again, because it's his section moves now. He comes actually with one of the tires and look make a move now on line Stroll. Got Kai trying to hold it around the outside line. He's side by side. He's going to power me around the outside line. A brilliant move there from Nico Kai. He's proven absolutely no fear in that thing whatsoever. I mean, he's not been in the great cars, but he's had some great racecraft in the very few races that he's done in his F1 career so far. And if he keeps making moves like that, you never know, he might find his way up to a much better drive, maybe even before the season's out, but definitely he's got a bright future if he can keep up moves like that. Now we're driving now behind Gio, coming now into the awkward corner, and Gio's going straight off the road. I think he locked his brakes there. He's coming back now to the track. Is he out there now? He's coming back onto the track. I think I saw a momentary brake lock and he just released it so he wouldn't get a massive 50 pence piece on his tyres, but now Gio, that is not what he needed, mate. I think he may still just been inside the top 12 places, but now in dead last place, but I'm not seeing any damage on his car. And he's got stopped for the next corner. That is the main thing. So Gio you can carry on still within this race. That is the main thing. Now as you go, you're going personal best through the first and second sections now to chase down now the Indonesian Rio Haryanto. When the other drivers seemingly struggling to get to grips with these cars in the opening races still. And look how much we're getting here on the back of him. It's just a team that's allowing to try and dive around that line, be able to lock up there from Haryanto. We just move off the track, we just haven't got the downforce. I mean, I'm still trying the moves that I could get away with in the Williams of previous seasons because I just had the downforce to stick through the corner. But this Alfa Romeo, it doesn't have the downforce yet to stick through. I'm just going to blast past the Haryanto in a straight line, basically like he's not even there. The McLaren's it's definitely improved, it's got a lot less drag on it. But it's still not the greatest car in the world, but he's got DRS and striker back to us, so he's got a move going up in front with the Renaults and the other McLaren getting involved now. We're going up now into turn 4, Harrison's going to try and hold it around the outside line of us, but we still managed to squeeze him out there and keep it there up the inside line. And also, I've just realised, that's Haryanto, and at some point, Massachusetts got past him and Haryanto's drop back. I didn't actually say that because I think we're too busy focusing on Giovinazzi battling like his life depended on it. They were ahead of our arch rival from last season, Rio Haryanto, so that's the main thing at least. But now moving a bit further on, finally get a little bit of a breather now as Mick Schumacher coming in for his first stop of the race. He's actually doing a 2-stop there for what was the race leader. Going to enter a set of soft tyres, so I'm guessing he's going to go into a set of medium tyres later on, but clearly Williams not favouring they can get to the end of the race on one set of tyres, but they're thinking their tyre was going to be a bit too big. He's going to come out now in the mid-pack of cars. I think that might just be us in front of him because that's a McLaren there. He's come out just behind the McLaren there of Rio Haryanto, but this should be a pretty easy move for Mick Schumacher just to dive it up the inside line with that mega straight line speed from that BMW engine into turn 4 close to make a move up the inside line. No, he's not. We have a look at that from Haryanto once again. Haryanto not feeling completely at one with that McLaren like he did. Well, like you see, that's an impressive performance, mainly in 2016, where he got his first ever and what is his only current podium in what was the 2016 McLaren Honda back then. Has some very impressive tries. Really, that was the car that put his name on the map in his debut season in Formula 1. Shumi, though, all over the back here of Haryanto, but there's going to be nowhere through here. And he's actually going for a dive on the inside line now. Haryanto's got that move covered. And I think Mick's learned from last time, he doesn't need to massively dive from every single car. So I don't know if the foaming damage he received just when he dived on me, although it makes sense that Haryanto's going to squeeze Mick to the inside line though. He's not going to make it easy for him. I mean, this is still a fight for position. We've both still got one more stop left to make. So in theory, Mick Schumacher is behind us legitimately on the road as things stand, although you think on a set of soft tyres in one of what is proven to be front-running cars of the season so far, he's not going to be behind us for too much longer, I really would not have thought. And now just look at that closing speed. I imagine he's got that engine turned up now because we're the kind from him. Once again, it's going to be a pretty personal between me and him. We've got a fight up front. They've got Massachusetts trying to do a bit of a fight there with Vern. Going to hold it around the outside line. All this way to each other again. Vern getting very good to this, squeezing into the curving, and he's coming into the pit lane anyway. So that was really pointless there from Vern. Now Shimmy's there with the DRS. They're going to try to come in us, but we've also got DRS. We've also got the slipstream now from the back of Massachusetts on the run now down into turn 1. We've got Shimmy there up the inside line. He's going to go out late breakers. He gets us up the inside line, but we keep it side by side still. Going to go the long way around the outside line, which then turns to the inside for turn 2. We're going to squeeze out and make sure yes we do. Managed to get back in front there of he's not the championship leader. I think he finished 8th in the last race, so the 8th place driver in the championship. Into turn 4, I'm going to fight Mick for everything, all of my worth really, for just a little bit of payback for what he did for the last race, where he could have basically ended both of our races with there. So time for a little bit of payback there for Mick Schumacher. Honestly, it feels really good holding up what could have been my car for this season, but if I didn't choose to move to Alpha, we have a lock up there. So on lap 9 of the race, so a third of the way through the race, yeah, the tyre starts to be going on Mick. Unsurprisingly, he also has the fastest lap of the race. That's why he's got the purple border around it. Going a little bit low on the brakes. So we've missed the corner completely. I've gone straight off the road as well. And now it was me going a bit over aggressive there, just trying to do anything to keep that, because he's going to come past me anyway. I mean, that was probably for the best that he did it there like that, because now hopefully Shuni now can actually annoy Matsushita for a little bit. That can allow me to close onto the back of the Toyota reserve driver, because despite being in the McLaren, that's because Toyota basically paid McLaren quite a sizable amount of money to take on Matsushita for the Asian races and the Russian Grand Prix for this season. Now he makes a move to the inside line though, Shimi does on Matsushita, and that's going to be a pretty simple move if you can make a stick though to the inside line. And Matsushita though is not going to give up that fight. We know Matsushita is never going to give up. He's probably the most never say die driver on the grid. And now they've got to be very DRS though for Shumi as well, so he's going to be just gone now into turn 1. That's when they get there anyway, but now you can pull us back onto the racing line and coming down 91. Matsushita actually has a little bit of a look to the inside line, so like I said, that never say die attitude there from Matsushita, but he gets a bit of a pull on there over the curbing. Now that's put us right on the back now of Nobby. And now going to be out the run now up into turn 4. Actually pulls away from Lewis, so he still gets a pretty good, so that's some pretty good drive traction on that McLaren out the corners. Like I said, we are running a little bit low wing on the back of our car now. Moving a bit further on now to lap 13. More of the other front runners now have made their stops, and now we've got Kvyat through us now instead of the hard tyres. So pretty much the way to go is the one stop for most of the other front runners anyway. Now we've got Charles Leclerc behind us. That's annoying because we've got two cars in front of us, in between me and Massachusetts, so they just managed to find the gap in between us and then just appear there. And one of them is a Williams, so I'm guessing that's Robbie Kubica. I doubt he's back in the pits again already. Kubica's all over the back there of Massachusetts. I mean, he's starting in second place, so this should be a really good track to win. I mean, it's a power track, but the aero in race trim could prove to be better than what seems to be a pretty low drag Williams BMW. Now coming now, Charles Leclerc, come on, don't make a move, do not make a move, come on, into the final corner. It's been better for most of you don't. Thankfully, Leclerc sees that and backs out of the move. Of course, Leclerc is the championship leader coming into this race, but we're coming into the pits now anyway. I just want to get out of this fight because I was meant to go on for another lap or so. But Massachusetts car down, there's a few of the cars that decided just to react to us and come in behind. But the original strategy was to go on for another lap, but with Charles Leclerc just going to be annoying me down the straight, I thought to myself just to get it best out of battle with Massachusetts getting held up with Kubica and that as well. Actually, don't get held up, we get held up there for the one of the Tarossos to make their way into the pit lane, and now that is exactly not what I need. And I can tell you that Massachusetts gets held up a lot by Kubica and by Danny Kvyat, because the time he could have gained on the undercut, I think we may well have just lost getting held there in the pit box for the Tarosso to come in. I mean, just absolutely pot. I mean, that's just a look at the draw. If we're a little bit further in front of the Taro, then we should have been able to get in front of them, but that's just how things work out, honestly. Now on to the end of that lap, and Massachusetts now is responding to us now, coming in on the lap that I would have been coming in if I wasn't being harassed by all the front running cars. And no surprise, it is a set of the hard tyres for Massachusetts. It's going to take him to the end now of the Grand Prix, and there's absolutely no, actually the Toro pit goes out, so that's going to be for the other Taros. And actually I think Gio is just about coming in, so Gio is not too far behind everyone else, so he's still in the race. As actually in the fight to not finish in last place, but it's still going to work it out to retrieve anything for this race. And now Massachusetts makes his way now back out now there into turn one. And where are we? And we're the car behind him, and I'm actually even further behind now I think than what I was. So yeah, getting held up in that pit box, just a little bit of time that we got held there for the Toro to come past, and that absolutely killed it, even with the one lap advantage we had on the tyres. But now moving a bit further on, looking at now through the running order, we've got Mick in the lead now. Actually got Colton Herter in Peter, of course, because he's the only driver yet to make his stop, going very long into the race on his tyres with actually match his car colour. But now then he's got Kubica right behind him. Now this is not going to be a hard fight, because since Herter is in the BMW Junior team and the Williams is the Works team, so makes his way through now into turn one, and a BMW 1, 2, 3. And when was the last time an engine supply had a monopoly of the podium, let alone the top three? So it's been a while for that, so if they could pull that off, that'll be a mega drive. Then you've got the lead of the Mercs, which is Danny Kvyat now doing battle with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. And Leclerc with that monstrous straight line of speed from that Ferrari engine. The Ferrari engine does have good power, and Kvyat feeling the lead there to go defensive to Charles Leclerc. And of course Kvyat on hard tyres, and we've got Leclerc down set medium, so very interesting strategy. He's going to try and stretch out set mediums to the end of the race. And then we had the lead of the Toyotas, followed then by the other Merc and Ferrari, and we've got George Russell down set of soft tyres, so pretty much like Mick Schumacher and Kubica, we've got a few drivers trying a two-stop inside the front-running teams. And we've got Verstappen, as I said there, of hard tyres, so he's definitely going to the end now of the Grand Prix. And you've got the other Toyota there of Kubica, actually also on a set of hard tyres, and I imagine also going to the end of the Grand Prix on that set. And we have Pierre Gasly just behind the two of them in the other Red Bull, also going to the end now of the race. And then we have Jev in the Renault on a set of medium, so he's probably going to stop again, I'd imagine. And then we have Matsushita, and behind him we should have ourselves, and the gap's pretty much remaining the same really, because that McLaren just gets such contraction out of the corner. And then we have Haryanto in the other McLaren on a set of hard tyres, along with the other Renault there of Nico Hülkenberg. Then behind him we have the lead Toro of Nico Curry, also going to the end of the race on that set of hard tyres, followed then by his teammate Alex Albon is also doing the same thing. And right behind them we have Lance Stroll in the Haas, and now we have DRS now on the back of Alex Albon. So is he going to be getting enough to try and make a move down this straight? I think the straight might just be a little bit too short. We're going now down into the left-hander, and yeah, he's a little bit too far back to make a move. Then we have Gio still in probably last place, also going to the end of the race, so there's still a chance yet, maybe. I mean, if you can pump in some good lap times, there might be a chance that you can salvage something. Don't exactly know what, but it could be something. Now then, on to lap 17 of the race. Things have pretty much still stayed the same, really. We're still in P12, so we're in the points places at the moment. But with George Russell behind us, I doubt that's going to really last for much longer, unless we manage to make a move soon on Matsushita. I mean, we've been getting slightly, you can visibly see the gap's pretty much been halved too knobby in front, because this should be just about within DRS range at this point, but then again, it depends where the detection point actually is. As we're only half a second behind him, so yeah, we should definitely get DRS on the back of him this time, as we go set our personal best second set or so. The medium tyres, these hard tyres that are on. Defensive gripping now, we've got Russell going to go defensive to the side of Russell, because I don't think he can move. Actually, Charles Leclerc now out of the Grand Prix, the championship leader, although it's only one race, but still, the championship leader, Charles Leclerc now out of the Grand Prix. Well, and whereabouts is that on the lap? Actually, I have no idea if it's our personal best lap though. Of the race, we've got George Russell getting side by side now with the DRS. Actually, no good. Yellow flag into turn 1, so we can't make the move us out into turn 1 though. Actually, got to go for it though, go for a dive, and he hits Matsushita. What is he doing? Yellow flags, he overtook me, and he's hit another car. George Russell, he's got absolutely mental. I mean, can we just get him out of the race now, please? We've got a madman on the track now. He's going to make a move. Matsushita goes defensive to the inside line. And he keeps managing to keep George Russell there just about behind him. But what is George Russell doing?
Yeah, no idea what he was doing there, mate. But it's a free position, as later he's going to get disqualified.
So my engineer seems pretty confident that George Russell's going to get a DSQ from this race. And I can't disagree. The yellow flags are slow down and prepared to stop, not overtake a fellow car, and then crash into another one. I mean, I get it, he's in a front running car, he needs to make these moves through the order quickly, but he's the 2018 Formula 2 champion, you expect better from him. But no, he's going to make a move now. Matsushita going all the way to the inside line, and Matsushita, I applaud you for that, not giving that up easily. Honestly, if I was you, I'd be doing the exact same thing as well. Because it's one thing, getting your taking the yellow flags, it's one thing to be hit by another car under yellow flags as well. And he's going to have a very lengthy talk with the stewards after this race, I'm pretty sure, if not even before, not even if he gets black flag now throughout the race. I mean, there's still another 11 laps left now. You've got Seb Vettel right up behind us now, coming into the final corner, and Seb's going to make a move up the inside line, and there's not really too much point fighting him really, because he's got such a faster car and faster tyres as well, so... Well, in straight line speed, you'd think there wouldn't be too much difference between our cars, since we've got the same engine. We've both got DRS now coming down now into one matches, go for a move back on the inside line. He's not letting Russell go, and I don't blame him going for a dive on the inside line of Vettel as well. Couldn't do a Matsushita to Vettel. We keep it side by side, but Russell just manages to squeeze out Matsushita, and we just get squeezed out there by Seb Vettel. So valiant effort. If I could give you points for effort, Matsushita, you'd be leading the championship by now. Unfortunately, you get that place back if he does get disqualified from the end of the race, if Russell does. But now, looking at a replay of what happened to Charles Leclerc, so he's got the other Merc, Danny Kvyat behind him, a bit of a lock there from Leclerc, so Leclerc feeling the pressure, feeling the presence of a driver which feels he could be a two-time world champion by now. If you have better luck, you can't really bet against him, or Danny Kvyat would have been a two-time champion by now. He does a dummy now, moves to the outside line, getting down there into someone, can keep it side by side still, with the Monegasque driver, a bit of a lock up there, and oh, something's gone bang in the back of his car. Maybe just running a little bit too much on too high of an engine mode, and once again 2 for 2 now on reliability, either failures or issues there for the Ferrari, one for Leclerc. This race Vettel had one last time. But now moving back onto the live, actually moving further into the race, and now we've got Mick Schumacher now on his fight back through the oil, because he's already made his second stop now on the set of medium tyres. Now he's fighting out actually behind Lewis Hamilton now. I think this is a fight for possibly P2. I'm not quite sure though. He's getting on the back though of the 2008 champion. And of course, Hamilton versus Schumacher is the fight we never got, of course, with his father Michael. But Hamilton versus Mick Schumacher, these two are going to write their first in many chapters of battling, I'm pretty sure right now. As Schumacher's got the DRS and Hamilton goes defensive to the inside line, but where Schumacher going to go, there's a little fake and gets to the outside line, so nice move there. If he can pull it off now, into we're going to keep it side by side still with the 2008 champion. Now they're cutting on now, 2 turns 2 still outside, and Shimi makes a pretty move there. I mean, Hamilton's really got nothing to fight back with there. On medium tyres, on older tyres as well, so with less grip and a slower compound as well. But he's still getting me closer though. I don't think either of them actually had DRS, so they must have gone side by side there through the detection point. But now moving a bit further on now, I think this should surely be the fight now for the lead. We've got Shimi now right on the back now of Danny Kvyat in the Mercedes, because these two going after the win. We've got Hamilton waiting in the win still if these two manage to take each other out or something. But these two though, Shumi seems to have calmed down. Danny Kvyat though is one of the just outright best drivers on the grid. Well, at least he was last season. I mean, he seems to be getting to grips with that Mercedes car. Look at his outside there, and just look at that easy move there for Mick Schumacher. Coming up the inside line now into the final corner. Kvyat's going to try and get a better line. He takes a wider line so he can get onto the power quicker. But now, is he going to have DRS still? Yes, he is. So he's just about behind the detection point. Now, he's not going to fight the back to the line. These two fighting for the... Well, Yeah, these two fighting for their first wins for their current teams, because Danny Kvyat's got numerous wins with the Red Bull team, and Shimi won one race in the junior team in Haas back in 2017 at Spa, of course, where his father, Michael Schumacher, also won his first race in Formula 1 with Benetton back in '93. And Shimi there got nothing to fight back, so I think Shimi got a bit flustered there at Danny Kvyat coming back at him. I imagine he must have thought still that he had the DRS and was pretty surprised when the Russian came flying back past him. I mean, that Merc car is pretty decent. I mean, they won the Drivers' Championship with a lot. I mean, if you put Alonso in any car, really, it's going to be massively quick compared to what the car actually is. But now with Danny Kvyat and George Russell, Kvyat though, he's no slouch. He's not an Alonso, but I don't think there's never going to be another driver as relentless as Alonso, quite honestly. But Kvyat is still one of the best now on the grid, like I said. And now then with the DRS now, once again, Mick Schumacher, but some great traction as well. To imagine Danny Kvyat's got the engine modes turned up now in that AMG motor. Just trying to hold on now to what will be could be a very crucial win. I mean, a win's always nice, but Danny Kvyat, I mean, he finished on the podium last time, so surely there's got to be a intent of championship contention. Now there's going to be a good run out of there from Mick Schumacher. But now then he needs to keep behind it once again. He needs to stay behind now within the DRS zone. Now they're coming up now. He's pulling side by side again, and the detention point. I think he was just about in front there again. Kvyat keeps his side by side around the outside line. Then he's going to put himself back in front, keep himself outside. Kvyat's not giving up this time around. And now there could be the drivers now down selfish. I imagine the crowd are going to be going wild. They're seeing the two front runners going side by side. And there goes Danny Kvyat. He's got DRS once again. And he's going to put himself back in front now into the braking zone. But he goes for a massive dive on back on the inside line. Just like a bin win situation there from the German. He keeps outside. He goes against Peter there, being forced to throw it down, forces the issue. Now he moves back into the lead now of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And then now he's got the DRS to pull away now. Surely this is where Mick's going to be pulling away now into turn 4. And you think he's just going to build up the gap now to just over a second, maybe a little bit more, build himself a safety margin. Now they're moving now towards the final lap now of the Grand Prix. We put up our fastest lap by over half a second. But Massachusetts though, he's just had the consistent pace. He's about 2.5 seconds up the road in front of us, so yeah, I mean, we've been catching him, but honestly, 12th place might become 11th, you never know. We have to see what the Shoeies decide after the race. Mick Schumacher though, he's pulling away now from the two cars behind him, but he's built that safety gap and obviously not forcing too much in now. And this is going to be a very, very emotional win. If you can hold him, I mean, he has to get to the line first. He's never able to cross finish line. He's had failures and crashes and that on the final lap before throughout Formula 1 history, and there's no saying that something could happen now. But the BMW reliability is pretty good. Although it seems to be Kubica who always gets the right end of the look, and Kubica's still going. So you think he could find a corner. Shimi should be okay for his first win with the BMW Williams team. Now then the fireworks are already going off. He's not even crossed the line yet. That's a bit preemptive. Now then coming up now to the line. Indeed, it is Mick Schumacher who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix to get a win which he probably felt that he should have taken from last time, if not at least a podium finish. Now that is going to do his championship aspirations a world of good now. Should boost him way up the order, especially with we have to see what the rest of the order is first. Now looking back at us now, a fight right behind us now. This could end up being the fight for final place. This is the fight for 13th place on the road, with George Russell gets a penalty who gets disqualified. This is the fight now for the final points place. As for what it could be, this is going a hammer and tongue for it now. I think that's Hulkenberg there just in front of the other McLaren of Rio Haryanto. I mean, Hulkenberg scored points last time. This will be Heineken can get points on the board. He can put this line. These two both got Renault engines. It's going to be all of us. Whoever wants this position most, they can keep his side by side around the line. Hulk try and get some racing line. He try to keep you wide, but Haryanto is just about going to squeeze out the German. And I think he's run out of fuel. He's going slowly out of the corner, and Haryanto actually goes slowly. I think they've both run out of fuel, but they're still going to coast it towards the line. And Haryanto there should get that position. But both of them running out of fuel, giving it everything they've got. And fair play to both of them for that. But Williams, though, understandably celebrating their first win of 2019 and Mick Schumacher his first of probably, you'd think, many wins with the BMW Williams team. And Schumacher back into Williams for the first time since the 2004 season. And then we got George Russell, looks very disappointed with himself, honestly. He's got a lot of explaining now to do with the stewards. Taking a look at the end results, and Shimi would get the win and the fastest lap to go with it to take the maximum 21 points. With Hamilton in second place, actually got ahead of Daniel Kvyat at some point, which we didn't see. And then Robbie Kubica in fourth place, a little bit behind, so didn't quite manage to make the two-stop work as effectively. And you got Kvyat actually finishing with a good recovery in P5 ahead of Pierre Gasly, who finishes as the lead Red Bull in sixth place. And then Colton Herta gets his first points in Formula 1 with a very, very good drive to finish in seventh place for Haas. And you get Vettel down in P8, so finishing where he started once again, another non-factor race really for Vettel. Max Verstappen down in 9th place. Don't really know what happened there to Verstappen to lose a few places towards the end. And you've got Massachusetts in 10th place with ourselves in P11, and Harrianta rounds off the top 12, so George Russell has to be given some kind of penalty or something for Harrianta there to be in the 12th place and get his first points on the board for this season. So that leaves Hulk in 13th place, ahead then of Nico Kari, then followed by teammate Alex Albon, with Stroll in P16 beating out Jev down 17th, so the 2-stop really not working there for Vern, with our teammate Gio last of the finishers, with Charles Leclerc as the DNF, and George Russell was actually disqualified from the Grand Prix. I mean, if you look at it, it was kind of a minor contact, but you just think of the severity of it. Yellow flags, that is a slowdown prepared to stop. The only way he was stopping was by taking out Massachusetts if he didn't slam on the brakes, so you can kind of see really why Russell did get disqualified from the race in the end. And with that win and maximum points, Mick Schumacher moves all the way into the lead of the driver standings, joint with Lewis Hamilton, and indeed Dan Kvyat, a three-way fight, all on 25 points. But by virtue of Schumi having a win, he's in the lead. With Hamilton having a second, he's in second, and Dan Kvyat's got 2/3. So I think that's why he's in third, or did he have a third and a second? Did he get 12 points for a second? So he's had, I think he got the fastest lap last time in the first race, that's why. So he has had 2 third-place finishes. And we've got Charles Leclerc down into P4, but still well within the championship fight, along with Kobayashi and George Russell, really, along with anyone really at the top cars, with Pierre Gasly ahead of Max Verstappen for 7th and 8th, with Kubica then in 9th place getting his first points on the board for this season, ahead then of in-house BMW teammate Colton Herta, with Lando Norris dropping down into 11th, and Seb Vettel rounds off the top 12, only on 5 points after 2 races. We drop down into 13th on 4 points, 1 point clear of Hulkenberg is on 3, joined with Matsushita, but Hulkenberg got his points in the first race, so that's why he's in front. And also on better result, because this is Matsushita's first race, so he doesn't have a previous better result at the moment. And Jean-Luc Verne Harry into the last of the point scorers, with only after 2 races, only 4 drivers yet to score, with Stroll, Kari, Gio and Albon all yet to score, still on 0 points. But now moving on to the constructor standings, and Toyota now take the lead of the constructors for the very first time ever in the team's history by 1 point from Merck, who dropped down into second, and they're now only 5 points clear now of Williams. So Williams, all it takes is one good result and they're shot the way straight back up now into the mix. And then we've got Scuderia Ferrari only on 25 points, 1 point clear now of Red Bull. Then in 6th place, really the Class B championship, the best of the rest fight, is McLaren leading by 3 points over Haas, with Herta's 6 points today. Then we have Renault in 8th place, with ourselves in 9th, and Toro Rosso the only team yet to score in P10. So remember to vote for your driver of the day with the poll links that'll be in the video description. And also remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this race as well. Leave a comment down below as well what you thought about this race. And remember to give me a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Give me a sub on this channel as well if you're not subscribed already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Remember to check out the wiki for this season as well. That'll be linked in the description for the it's basically Wikipedia for fan-made stuff. So it's the Wikipedia for this. It's got every season this season, past seasons from 2014. That's when it started. Every single team, every single driver to have ever been in as well. So if you want to catch up on what's happened previously as well. Also linked in the description will be the livery mods that I use because I got the game on PC. If you want to use the BWT Toyota livery, that's linked down there, along with the custom Mercedes 125 years livery, along with as well the White Bikes Haas livery and the Alfa Romeo livery on my car as well. That will be linked in the description if you want to give them a download if you got this game on PC and use them for yourself as well. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.